play of the game from way down.
1, 2, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bombs going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bob Stastinko gonna find Rainer.
Oh, the life finder keeps Maev up. It was going to be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of, no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. We're at the end of Season 7 regular play here. And we're going to see tonight on the first of two matches, a Division D East game between ProBUs and 2Calculated2Throw. And pardon me as I'm getting all kinds of hellos. I am your host, Aero. And you may be surprised to know that that is not Butte Holiday to my left, so let me go ahead and update that. There we go. And today we're going to see these two teams here. Let's take a look at the standings and see where ProBUs and 2Calculated2Throw are currently. So ProBUs sitting at number 7, tied with Tryhards with 18 points. So they're looking to break that tie, possibly even with a 2-0 victory. They could make it all the way up to a tie for third. Now, 2Calculated2Throw with a victory here, no matter the number of points, cannot get into first place. So ultimately, the only adjustment is whether or not ProBUs is 7th or tied for 7th, I suppose, so they could even be 8th, depending on how their record with Tryhards was, or all the way up to potentially 3rd place. So quite a big game for ProBUs here tonight. And we're missing still half of the people, so let's get them in here. 1 second. And let's take a look. Oh, I gotta put them in. I can't tell you the map bans if I haven't put them in. Let me do that real quick here. So our map bans from Shrines, Sky Temple, and Crystallo. Alright, let's take a look at these map bans, shall we? So we've got Dragonshire and Infernal Shrines were banned out by ProBUs. 2Calculated2Throw banned out Sky Temple and Cursed Hollow. Our first map, which was picked by ProBUs, is going to be Volskaya Foundry. Make Captain. Oh, right, I gotta set this up. Make Captain, set Captain, there we go. All right, so coming back over here. Welcome again, everybody. Thanks for joining us. There are a few matches tonight. There are, I think every half an hour we've got one starting. One at 9, one at 9:30, 10, and 10:30 tonight. You know, you might see some craziness, although I'm still reeling from the ProBUs that we saw earlier in one of the replay casts, so... Okay, so caster ready. And looks like they are. Oh, yes. We got 2 out of 3. Just need one more ready and we can get this game started. Welcome, Mega Muffin. Glad you could join for the game here tonight. We do have a Div B game coming up as well after this. I should probably set myself as referee so I can talk if I need to. Reminder, right wing is banned on this map. Garrosh into the fray, also banned. All right, there we go. Got to make sure that they're aware of those bans. Don't want to have any issues there. it stinks losing a game that you do really well in, only to find yourself selecting a banned talent. Let's get into this draft. All right. So here we go. At the beginning, Volskaya Foundry. And as a reminder, Brightwing is banned because Brightwing doesn't play by the rules and she likes to heal people while she is still in the vehicle. Garrosh is Into the Fray is banned because he likes to throw his friendly turrets around. And now Stukov is banned because they don't want to deal with Stukov. Some of the other heroes you can expect to see banned are Kael'thas, probably, I mean the Stukov obviously, but who else could we see here? Maybe a Junkrat, the not Orphea, well Orphea maybe, but Kira can be pretty significant. Absolutely Silvara, thanks for the bits, greatly appreciated it. I'm not gonna ask who you're rooting for, because, you know, you play in the game. Jaina gonna be the ban, so another valuable ban here on a map like this. It's not gonna surprise me if we see Kael'thas getting picked up by one of these teams. And Johanna being banned out. With her changes, she is brutal to try to kill. Getting that reinforce. Reducing the auto attack damage. Hey! Kael'thas, you know, provides a lot of value on a map like this where, you know, people are fighting over control points. It's not super easy to avoid those bombs, and you really cause chaos, even just by putting a bomb. If you want somebody to be out of a team fight, putting a living bomb on them will cause them to run around and try to avoid spreading. Well, it may. Some people don't care, and then you'll just have a bomb go off in your team, so, you know, that could happen. But, alright, so Anduin and Raynor being picked up here. Aero does see the future, it happens. So, let's see. Alright, I was not going to suggest, or not suggest, but I was not expecting the Alex Straza coming out from Galdriais. I should have. But keep in mind now that Diablo also got some buffs on his talents. And that level 13 Shadow Charge stacking quest provides a boatload of damage, being able to reduce the armor of the enemy team pretty significantly, a 15 armor penalty just for smashing somebody into a wall. And we're gonna see the variant. Now the variant ban is interesting. That tells me that they're going to look for somebody either that has shields like a Phoenix, maybe a Chen, maybe even, who's the other one? Possibly even some, well, they won't go Lucio, not with the Anduin. But it also could be that they're trying to ban out a potential, like, for Kira or another dive because they don't want to taunt. With the Diablo, I can't imagine that they were expecting a taunt coming up. I think it's just the shield breaking. So once again, we don't see, you know, a shield talented hero here. I'm really thinking they're looking at Phoenix. Especially since they obviously did not pick up Chen. So we'll see how that affects the draft here for 2Calculated2Throw. And we're gonna get Thrall and Imperious. Confusion. Health is odd, so... Huh, okay. kind of wonder about the variant ban then. All right, let's get set up here for game number 1. Volskaya Foundry between ProBUs and 2Calculated2Throw. Crash Lightning? You think it'll be Crash Lightning? It could be. Ghost Bear, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Consider them circles punished. Yep, that Kel'Thuzad dropping the Shadow Fisher with that instant reset now at 10. Pretty significant. Alrighty, game number 1 here between ProBUs and 2Calculated2Throw. Let's introduce our teams. On the left, we have ProBUs, Dragon478 on Muradin, Hung-Fu on Anduin, Chaos Tank playing that Leoric, Sage on Kel'Thuzad, and Aruba on Raynor. Popping off some dance moves. And on the right, we have 2Calculated2Throw, Hunter X on Imperius, Galdrias on Alexstrasza, X Havoc playing the Diablo, Jurgen Derb on Kael'thas, and Gen Confusion on Thrall. Let's take a look here. So level 1 talents. Third win coming up for Muradin. Probably fine. Yep, I think that's fine. Renew, Assyrian's Renewal. The armor penalty here from the chains on Kel'Thuzad. So pretty much about what you would expect from the left side. We do see the Crash Lightning. But here we go, getting some damage in onto the Muradin, popping off with that Living Bomb. I have no idea how that didn't just spread onto the Kel'Thuzad, but as he jumped right over him. But it didn't. Maybe it spread to Muradin. Maybe that's what happened there. So Leoric trying to interrupt the rotation down from Imperius. A little bit late. They do miss a couple of minions there, and early game these melee minions have the highest XP, so that puts them just slightly behind. But elsewhere, they're able to rotate a little bit faster, so they're actually picking up more XP currently. Turret camps available now for both teams. We'll see which team heads off there first. It looks like ProBUs is going to make their way first. And we'll see if 2Calculated2Throw rotates over as well. Pretty significant allocation of resources to pick up this turret camp. Now, what I'd like to see is, now that we've got 2Calculated heading here, I almost think that we could send 4 up to get this support camp for ProBUs. Especially considering the fact that Diablo only has 30 souls at this point. But instead, they're going to come in, try to get some damage on, and maybe even a kill, but not quite able to do so. I'm going to try to remember to keep that up for you, Megamuffin, for the Crash Lightning. All right, currently sitting at 2 stacks, 6 stacks for the Abundance quest for Alexstrasza. And, you know, I talked about this, you know, at length in a couple of other streams as well. The Abundance, you know, provides a lot of value into the Imperius and Diablo especially. And Diablo taking Devil's Due, that's going to give them extra globes for Diablo, so that's going to provide a lot of value late game. But here's where we're going to get that support camp fight, and we're going to get the root onto Thrall, flip onto Muradin, keeping him away from Thrall, so Thrall's able to get away. Now, keep in mind, this is really good for Thrall's Crash Lightning stacks, as every cast is basically going to give him a stack. But ultimately, ProBUs going to get in there, pick up this Biotic Emitter, and make their way out. And level 4 available for both teams. Control Point A coming online. We're going to see ProBUs head over to their siege camp right away. And that's going to give control over the point to 2Calculated2Throw here to get started. Welcome to Div D, ladies and gentlemen, where everything is done just a little bit differently. All right, and Leoric coming in here does have the living bomb on him. There goes that abundance. Not really anybody that needed it, I don't think, but pull onto both of the front line from 2Calculated, but look at the Leoric here in the back line getting shadow charged into the wall. 58% so far for 2Calculated as the turret dropped for ProBUs here. Thrall's going to get caught in the Kel'Thuzad route, and that's just stacking him up eventually. That's going to be a lot more painful, but sitting at 12 here for Kel'Thuzad so far, 6 on the Crash Lightning. And, sorry, make that 17 out of Kel'Thuzad with that big fat root. Biotic emitter dropped, as was the turret for 2Calculated2Throw, and Kel'Thuzad now getting these stacks. The next kill going out onto Kael'thas. First and second blood coming out there back to back as ProBUs netting significant value there, but 99% for 2Calculated2Throw. They're going to have the opportunity to come back in and defend this. Right now, they want to clear up the top lane. They already lost 80-90% of the turret's towers, rather, health. And with Imperius going back, I expect once they pick this up, they'll head over. But, man, they don't really have enough time. At this point, they all need to be heading there now. And an aggressive turret camp invade. Level 7 now available for both teams, so they need to get on this point. Let's actually keep that up so you can see that. We'll just zoom out a little bit. And this is going to go into overtime. Whoever wins this fight gets this protector. And Diablo charging in onto the Kel'Thuzad, very much at low health, at half already. Celestial Charge used as well. Kind of weird calling both of those abilities. But X-Havoc is going to be the first kill as double turrets just melting the front line of 2Calculated2Throw. Gen Confusion getting that Q heal from Alex Straza and having to disengage. This first protector is going over to ProBUs. Fair enough, Bluefish. Yeah, you'll probably hear their callouts just a little bit before you'll hear what's going on the stream, as there is a short delay in between the two. Confusion, you were the chosen one until he took Crash Lightning, right? Is that how this works out? So Protector coming into the top lane is going to help finish off that wall that was started earlier, but Murden getting charged here is going to go down. Not able to make it over the wall. And so the well picked up. And Imperius down in the bot lane getting that soak. They're still about a full level behind here. As the structure XP especially in favor right now for ProBUs. Also, take a look at the difference in the heroes XP. Leoric nearly double the second closest XP on 2Calculated. And even Raynor having more than anybody else on 2Calculated right now. But let's check out this fight up here. Jürgenderb's going to get caught and goes down in that fight. 26 now for Kel'Thuzad. And a shot in the back and a long distance chain. Level 10's available here for ProBUs. And they are just lighting Diablo on fire. 3 for nothing. Kel'Thuzad needs one more stack before he becomes terrifying. A 75% increase to spell power. And with these attacks, getting that lockdown and that Shadow Fisher is going to just destroy nearly anybody that he can catch. Whether with a chain to another hero or a chain onto the Glacial Spike. 2Calculated picking up their turret camp, seemingly having a little bit of a dance over who's going to pick it up here. And it looks like ProBUs going to do much the same thing here. No Maelstrom weapon today. Yeah, looking like Thrall wants to go a little bit more like a Mage Thrall. Although I suppose even that would have been more Echo of Elements. So Murden kind of hanging out in this bush, waiting for this Imperius to rotate up. Or for the rest of the team to rotate down. But they are rotating in onto Hunter, and Hunter popping that Molten Armor, keeping his armor bonus going and getting as much healing as he can. But unfortunately, Not a lot you can do when you're surrounded by 5 heroes. Up in the top lane, we do have this siege camp getting some push here. Doesn't look like it's quite going to make it as far as the wall, so that tower will remain. So let's take a look at these ultimates. What do we got? We've got the Entomb, Light Bomb, Shadowfisher, Hyperion, and Avatar. So not necessarily a ton of synergy there, although the Shadowfisher into the Entomb should provide a lot of value. Even the Light Bomb potentially on a Leoric as he gets that Entomb could be valuable. On the other side, however, we've got the Earthquake, Phoenix, Apocalypse, Lifebinder, and Angelic Armaments. So, you know, a little bit of synergy there between... Oh my goodness, a big pull onto Gen Confusion, but that Lifebinder keeping him alive. 4-man Light Bomb just tearing these health bars apart. 2Calculated2Throw. Oh my goodness. Getting the bomb and giving that shield over to the Muradin. There was no contest there. And after having to use that Lifebinder to save Thrall, there wasn't much to do there. Imperius in the mid lane trying to catch up in Soak is level 13 available. And again, the long range pull on that Chains of Ice from Kel'Thuzad. How do you escape from that? Oh, that's right. You dodge laterally. But still, that was at the very tip. And so many of these have been. They've been maximum range on the Glacial Spike with the Chains of Ice. And that staggered death is going to make it very, very difficult on the timing here. I don't think Thrall makes it. I think that they have to go into this before they have Thrall, if they want to. Either that or they just have to defend the Protector. And right now, it looks like they might be leaning towards just defending the Protector. I think that's the right call. I don't think that they're going to, you know, get any value with a 3-man push here out of this team. But going in down a talent plus a Protector here, trying to get on the Muradin. This fort is pretty well going to go down. Now let's take a look again. Crash Lightning now sitting at 20 stacks. Diablo at 47 stacks of, or souls rather. Mana Addict completed a little bit ago there. Stormbolt, level 1 trait quest, whatever you want to call it, at 17. And that glove going in onto Thrall, locking him down for a few moments there. But big Protector punch onto the AoE healing. APOC going out. Doesn't look like it's going to hit anybody, though. Just, I guess, a Protector, some zoning damage. And I think, really, with this team setup, you almost have to have the Thrall Earthquake. But, again, a big Light Bomb going out onto Dragon, popping that Avatar. Imperius getting punted out, I believe, by the glove. But X-Havoc is having to pull away. Did not get that Lifebinder. I think that was meant for X-Havoc. But, ultimately... no deaths, and just the one structure up in the top lane. So, not bad. That was a pretty good defense here for 2Calculated2Throw. ProBUs doing really well, however. They've got the value from this Kel'Thuzad already, stacking very early in the game. The Light Bombs have been just absolutely on point. 3 to 4 people with every single Light Bomb, making sure that Muradin is getting that big shield, and obviously also the few moments of stun doesn't hurt. Alpha, hey. Oh no, once again, but this time the root misses, but everything else was there. And what a play from Sage, putting that Glacial Spike in the shadow so that Thrall couldn't... Thrall has to feel so targeted in this game. How many times has Thrall died? Let's take a look at that. Thrall has died 4 times, and every time has been a max distance Glacial Spike chain, and good night. Kael'thas going to be the next one to go down, and this is going to provide some value now for ProBUs. Oh, I thought she was done. Getting some extra commentary from the peanut gallery in the background there. And here we go. ProBUs making the play that they need to get some siege damage out there while they had that advantage with the Kael'thas down. Level 16 online as well. 23 stacks for Crash Lightning. And, you know, it's a lot harder to get those stacks if you're dead, right? It's difficult for Thrall to stack up a quest if he's not able to be anywhere near heroes. And, you know, you're right, Cortex calling out the trap talent in Crash Lightning. It becomes... You have to be so aggressive about casting that spell on your enemy that in a lot of these cases, I think that if Confusion had Echo of Elements or whatever even the other level 1 talent was, maybe he's got better positioning, maybe he doesn't get caught by the Kel'Thuzad. I don't know, but it puts you in a position where you feel like you have to be aggressive, and at least so far that's been causing some issues here. So they are getting additional damage out of it, but until he gets to 30, it's really no better. And even at 30, I don't think it's technically better than Echo, especially when you get to level 16 and pick up that Thunderstorm as he did. Control Point C, level 16 to 16, and Thrall once again getting taken out by Kel'Thuzad. And the Apocalypse coming in here. This is a 5v4 now. Kel'Thuzad throwing the damage out. Leap of Faith coming on to Sage, keeping him alive. Lifebinder onto Diablo, doing the same. And I gotta say, like, I don't know if there's just a target, a bullseye on the backside of Thrall or what, but Sage has just had a target for him. He's just going crazy on that Thrall. Not quite able to catch that Kel'Thuzad, though. And by Kel'Thuzad, I mean Kael'thas. So 24 stacks. One additional stack from that kill. We also have the Mithril Mace coming out from Leoric, giving him that increased auto attack speed. Some interesting talent choices here. We do see the double flame strike. And that, you know, that's fair. I mean, I think oftentimes I like the Living Bomb on this map, but the double flame strike can certainly get some pretty significant value as well. We don't actually see Diablo take that Shadow Charge, giving him instead the auto attack speed, because he went into Malevolence here at 7. But let's get rid of these here as the fight is on. Phoenix dropped in the corner there. Hunter X all by himself gets pulled in with Gen Confusion, but this time Gen Confusion is not the first to go down. There's the APOC, again, probably a little bit late. I don't know if he had it earlier or not, but the Entomb locking down Jürgen Durb and X Havoc. Dragon Queen popped, trying to help with the disengage, but this is looking like a full team wipe coming out from ProBUs as again the long range Glacial Spike Chains of Ice pulling Diablo in, and now with Souls Reset, Diablo the only player on the map, and we see ProBUs taking the Protector into the mid lane. And I expect them to start working on this. They've got their minion wave here now. Entomb is available, and they did take Buried Alive. We've also got the Rewind for Muradin. Varian's Legacy, giving that extra dot damage to Anduin there. And the level 20 upgrade to Shadowfisher, this is really interesting. That recasts the spell automatically when you hit a hero, so we'll see if they get value out of that. Although Diablo just getting obliterated, not having enough health to really deal with it. And the Executioner from Rainer as well, so down level 20s with a full Protector. Game number 1 going over to ProBUs over 2Calculated2Throw. Yeah, definitely agree with you there, Josh. Still, the build was a little bit off, I think, for Diablo. The Soul Shield would have been fantastic into that, especially with the Kel'Thuzad. You know, the auto attack build, probably thinking that he could stay on to the Muradin or Leoric in that. But I think some adjustments have to be made here if you're too calculated to throw to you know, to be successful in this game. Because that was a very one-sided game. That was entirely ProBUs. And for what it's worth, I mean, 80% of that was Kel'Thuzad just saying, hey, get over here. Hey, get over here. get over here, and then sending them to their graveyard. And that's not to discount the play. I mean, Hung Fu with some really amazing leap of face, and Muradin being right up in the team's face, allowing Kel'Thuzad to do those things, certainly providing so much value. And we did see, you know, again, take a look here, 50% more on the XP coming out from Leoric as well. So, you know, really well played from ProBUs to get game 1 on Volskaya Foundry. Welcome back. So we're going to find out where we're going here on the next map. Let's see. So that was ProBUs. So they're on the blue side. And let's see what they want. All right. So they want map pick. All right, looks like we're going to Battlefield of Eternity. Let's see, BOE is right there. All right, all set up now. Just need to get the teams into the lobby here. Let's see, we got Galderas is on the wrong team, swap team, Gurgadurbs there, X-Havoc, Hunter. Right. Alright, trying to get everybody into the games here. Takes a little bit more attention when you're having to get everybody on the right side and on the right team, and who gets captain hat and who's first ban and all that other garbage. How's everybody doing tonight, by the way? It's Sunday night, 9:30 on the East Coast. Anybody in the path of this Cat 5 hurricane? Thankfully, I'm too far north, at least for now, unless it does some crazy things. A spy, where am I? That's over there. Oh, Chain Confusion's over there. All right, so just missing 2. There we go. Now they're coming up. Set captain there and set captain there. All right. So again, we're going to Battlefield of Eternity here. Yeah, welcome, Darth. It was a pretty strong game for ProBUs, and I would say I would call it a learning experience for 2Calculated2Throw. Now, 2Calculated2Throw without their captain tonight, so I don't know how much Fear does of their shot calling, their drafting, what have you. Certainly that can have an impact. But as we showed earlier, let's show this again. So the standings, that gives 1 point now to ProBUs, so that puts them ahead of Tryhards. With another win, it would at the very least tie them with Would Tap That and Zul'jin Distillery. But if they're able to win here on Battlefield of Eternity, that would tie them with Church of Murky and Team Rectum. It would take them from 7th place all the way up to a tie for 3rd. What a change in status with that. And let's take a look here once again at the maps. So game 1 was selected by ProBUs and also won by ProBUs there on Volskaya Foundry. Game number 2 was selected by 2Calculated2Throw on Battlefield of Eternity. And of course, we also saw the bans of Cursed Hollow and Sky Temple coming from 2Calculated2Throw, Infernal Shrines, and Dragonshire from ProBUs. Yeah, I've seen, you know, I got to cast a game with ProBUs the other day, and they played a very solid game. So, you know, this is a team that, you know, even for 2Calculated2Throw to be the second place in the division right now, you know, this is a team that you can't sleep on, clearly. And I think we have one team ready, waiting on the second one here. That I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't recall if Aruba was in the game the other day. Might be a sub or something. I don't know. Okay, but we've got the readies, so we're gonna get this started. Game number 2 to Battlefield of Eternity. Give me 1 second here while we're waiting on this initial ban, as I'm gonna go summon my dog since she's barking. Okay. All right, we didn't miss much. Came right back into the exact same first round ban as last game on Battlefield of Eternity this time, as we see the Ana being banned out. What else do we got here? So previously, Stukov and Jay were the bans. Oh my goodness, guys, come on. Were the bans at the beginning of Volskaya Foundry, so we'll see if they maintain that. Kel'Thuzad, raise your hand if you're surprised, because that's not going to be me raising a hand. And the follow-up ban on Devarian. This time an earlier ban. Last time they banned out Johanna second. Let's see, KTZ. Was it BOE? Alright, let me just take a quick moment to note our previous teams. And there goes the volley. Okay, so a good race. Lots of race still available, and we saw previously that Raynor was played by Aruba there. It would not surprise me to see Raynor picked up, but they're instead going to pick up Johanna first. And you know what? That's fair. I like the Johanna pickup because most of the race heroes that you're going to see are your auto attack heroes, like a Greymane or an Artanis or a Raynor, or I mean, Vala really kind of fits that, but also kind of less so, because with her build on this, she's looking more at the Monster Hunter side of things and getting the value out of her Hungering Aero. But a lot of the potential coming out of that those auto attacks. So we're going to see Jürgen Dirb picking up the Raynor, and Stukov going over to Galderies. And again, you know, both of these teams here previously banning out those initial picks. That's Stukov and Johanna. Let's see here. So who else do we have? Anduin. You know, it wouldn't surprise me to... Yeah, I was just going to say, to see an Anduin again, as the combination of Light Bomb and Falling Sword is pretty disgusting. Even if you don't take it, it's still... The Light Bombs were fantastic last game. Johanna doesn't quite have the same ability to get into the middle of the team as Murden did. But I wouldn't count that necessarily out. It just means that you have to be a little bit more patient and precise with your positioning. Third ban going to be on Leoric, and you know, that's fair. Leoric did do a fair amount of chaos as well. You know, Leoric getting kind of overshadowed by the Kel'Thuzad chains from, you know, miles away, but still providing a lot of value to the team. And on a map like this, you know, the corridors, you can use that Entomb to block and isolate your team, the enemy team, separate them from each other, and really cause some problems. Diablo going to be the final ban here for ProBUs. And not all that long ago, the question was whether this was a great map for Diablo because of the narrow corridors where you could shadow charge people into walls, or whether it was a terrible map for Diablo because once you died, it was a pain in the neck to get your stacks back. But it's a little bit less of an issue now that they made his stacks a little bit less focused on minions and a little bit more focused on the actual abilities he uses. But we're gonna see Garrosh and Blaze, so that's actually, that could be a really good combo here for the Garrosh throw into a jet propulsion along with a silence from Stukov. Kind of like it. And we're gonna see an ETC. So ETC solo lane, so that's likely to be a stage dive. So they're putting a lot into the Hanzo and Li Ming, but Li Ming can get some pretty solid race depending on the build she goes. I know, Night Night. I like, this is one of my favorite maps. I really enjoy it. I don't know. You know what? There are a lot of favorite maps for me. Gul'dan gonna be the final pickup here for 2Calculated2Throw. And it's going to go over to Jürgen. And Hunter X is going to switch over to the Raynor. I think there might have even been another swap on the other side, so I'll have to double check that here. Gen Confusion going to be on the Garrosh, so flipping over from the Thrall over to Garrosh. X Havoc going to be playing that Blaze, so double tank on both sides. I don't know. Guys, what do you think? I mean, I think the race potential is... man. I think it's 7, depending on the talents they take, of course. I think that the race potential goes over to ProBUs. Right? I know. Darth, like, it almost feels weird. It feels like the ETC is the answer for the light bomb, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 on Battlefield of Eternity. Let's introduce our teams. Currently up 1-0 in this match. Best of 3 is ProBUs on the left. We have Dragon 478 playing the Johanna, Sage on Li Ming, Aruba on Hanzo, Hung Fu on Anduin, and Chaos Tank on ETC. And further right, looking to make this a 3-game series, we have 2Calculated2Throw, Gen Confusion playing the Garrosh, Jürgen on Gul'dan, Hunter X on Raynor, Galdriice on Stukov, and X Havoc on Blaze. So we are going to see up in the top the ETC versus Blaze, and I have to assume that definitely before level 7 that favors Blaze pretty heavily. So we'll have to keep an eye on how that goes for them. Let's see talents. So we've got Block Party for ETC. And we do have some race talents, so god dang it. Or Exterminator there for Raynor, and you know, once again the Power Hungry. I'm gonna keep bringing this up, guys. I'm 100% gonna keep talking about it. Power Hungry is I'm just gonna say what it is. It's a garbage talent on this map. Stop taking it. Flame me all you want. It's a garbage talent. Don't do it. Look at the talent and then think about it. And then you'll realize it's not the talent to take. Just stop doing it. I think that's the 4th time today alone that I've seen that talent on BOE. But anyways, low blow coming out from Stukov, increasing the damage on low health heroes. New habits for Blaze, giving him that unstoppable when he uses the Pyromania. Echoed Corruption for Gul'dan. A lot of, you know, pretty standard talents. Serrated arrows for the Hanzo as well, so kind of a cheeky push onto this bottom camp, and they are going to sniff it out, but with that Raynor value, they're able to pick it up pretty quickly, so they're gonna score a free camp early in this game. Checking up in the top lane here, so Blaze and ETC pretty similar overall. ETC has a little bit more mana, Blaze has a little bit better push, so he's getting a little bit of value, but not a whole lot. So in the bot lane now, with this siege camp here, they do have a little bit more pressure onto the minion wave. 20 seconds until we've got the Immortals coming. And it looks like both teams going to make that rotation up. They're leaving Johanna down here. and Garrosh is going. Also, Iron Skin for Johanna, and I think that's the right play with this Garrosh. Want to have that indestructible, I'm sorry, unstoppable available whenever possible. Indomitable picked up there for Garrosh. Pretty much standard. I mean, getting that that unstoppable for Garrosh is... I couldn't even tell you his other level 4 talents. I think they're all Bloodthirst related. They're dumb. And I play Garrosh a fair amount. Still waiting on Blaze's level 4 here, as Blaze going back with the Shaman camp in the top lane here. ETC trying to get this cleared out, but again, he doesn't have a whole lot of damage, so that's going to take a little bit of time. But ProBUs getting onto the Immortal right away, and already getting to that halftime show. Throw in onto Chaos Attack? Was that... Yeah, that is what happened there, but he just power slides away, so no big deal there. And I thought they were going to get halftime, but they're just a little bit away from it here. Jet Propulsion in onto the Johanna, the Rainer penetrating round, and the kill. First blood onto Johanna. And a successful defense of the Immortal here, at least for halftime, as Rainer getting on to the bot lane, bottom half of the map to work on the Immortal down here. And Gen Confusion using that throw, because it's not but maybe 100 health away from halftime. Maybe a little bit more than that, but ultimately halftime slightly going over to 2Calculated2Throw. And so far, it looks like both teams going to get primarily started, with the exception of the tanks from ProBUs here on the race, trying to slow things down. But ultimately, that Exterminator value out of Rainer pre-7 going to give the race over to 2Calculated2Throw. Now, depending on what Li Ming takes at 7, we may see that change. I don't see her really going into Seeker, because I think that she probably would have taken Aether Walker if she was going to. In for the kill isn't terrible. Sometimes reset on kills. I like it because it gives you a fair wave clear. Which one's in for the kill? I don't even know. Well, toss onto the Johanna. We'll have to check that out in a second here. Getting pulled in by the Condemn, though, was Garrosh. And so this looks like the Mortal already getting low here. So that's a half of the fort for 2Calculated. And up in the top here, X-Havoc has no mana, having to get out of dodge. So what do we have here? Into the fray. Yeah, that's not what you're talking about, right? In for the kill. Is that... What is in for the kill? Whose talent is that, Darth? Oh, they did go Seeker. All right, so they did pick that up. Well, fair enough. Yeah, I have no idea which one in for the kill is, but okay. Interestingly enough, we do see Blessed Momentum coming out from Johanna here. Probably, you know, gonna allow for those additional blinding lights to slow down the Rainer damage onto the Immortal. And you may or may not be able to hear it. I don't know how loud this is for you guys exactly, but the sound Seeker makes when you hit is so fantastic. But look at the damage here. Li Ming gonna go down, but so is Hunter. And Sage and Hunter both, you know, doing a lot of work for their team, but falling. Johanna going to be the next one, as well as Anduin. And Garrosh there with 30 armor, staying alive. Aruba trying to get away from the Stukov, too. Oh, in for the kill. Right, gotcha. That's a level 4 talent for Garrosh. Right. But if I remember correctly, though, that's you have to kill them with Bloodthirst to get the reset. Like, how often? The Bloodthirst just doesn't do that much damage. Does it? Let's look. 222 damage at level 9 right now, so not a crazy amount of damage. But yeah, I mean, Indomitable is just so good. Getting that Unstoppable is just huge. Because there's always something, whether it's a slow or a stun or whatever. But 10's available now for 2Calculated2Throw. Looking very strong so far in this game. Really coming out and making the plays heavily in their favor so far. And the race, again, the potential going over to them here as ETC up in the top lane, just trying to get as much soak as possible to keep ProBUs moving along and on the way toward 10. So what do we got? We got that massive shove, Hyperion, Combustion, Horrify, and the Warlord's Challenge. So overall, not really a lot of direct synergy there, but we could see like a Warlord's Challenge with a jet propulsion popping off into a Horrify. So there is the potential for some of that to work together, just not directly. So we'd see that Chastise. However, Dragon Arrow coming in onto Galdraaz, forcing Galdry back away from the team, and the taunt onto Johanna. She does get the leap of faith, but the Groundbreaker stun, stalling it out and finished off by Gul'dan. And ETC here in the bot lane, trying to get the damage in onto X-Havoc. And ETC needs to try to get in front of X-Havoc. There you go, to make sure that he can't just jet propulsion out, and there he goes. So ultimately, sorry we missed the kill onto the Hanzo up here from Stukov. That looked like it was going to be really close there. That's fair. You know what? That's fair. Yeah, I mean, if you're bad with a talent, or not good with a talent, then sure, you know, take something else that provides value. I mean, if you can't finish, if you can't complete a quest like the Feral Resilience or something like that, Feral Spirit quest at level 4 on Thrall, don't take it, right? If you're gonna die and lose it. If you can't complete a Convection in a couple of minutes, don't take it. It's a trash talent to begin with. Most of the time. All right, what do we have going over here? All right, so it sounds like our 10 o'clock show is going to be taken out. Oh, but the big damage there onto X-Havoc uses his tap to get out of dodge there and heal up. But Dragon getting thrown, big taunt, half health already on Johanna, but the leap of faith providing value there. And Light Bomb going in, but the massive shove saving the day. Blessed Shield was also used in that engage, but they're going to get the kill onto Anduin with that. And Sage used Teleport to get away, but not far enough. Hunter X coming in with the kill onto the Li Ming. 13's online now for 2Calculated2Throw, and we see them rotating not to a camp, but instead possibly to try to get this ETC. Now they need to watch for the stage dive potential and hold the knockback to make sure that he can't just pop out of there. I don't think they get him. I don't think... Oh, never mind. Suddenly Garrosh. And there it is, there it is. Oh, they didn't... Oh, man. But that's okay. That's a 70-second cooldown that they burned, and now they can get on the Immortal here. And again, Li Ming with that Seeker does a lot of damage to the Immortal, and of course, it doesn't move. It's impossible not to hit it with those three missiles. Unless, of course, there's a player in the way. But X-Havoc, deep in on this, is going to get taken out. 5 versus 3. You know, the tank's just a little bit far forward there. And there's that Unstoppable mentioned earlier, but Condemn, I think it was, pulled him back in, and Hanzo getting the kill. Horrify not able to save the day there. So this is going to allow, with the 2 kills from ProBUs, it's going to allow ProBUs to get working on the Immortal, and I don't know that 2Calculated2Throw can really get in on it. In a lot of ways, I think they already were doing the right thing and trying to get this camp, although with resetting it, oh wow, ProBUs is not paying attention there, so they're not going to be able to stop it. That's going to give them some pressure up in the top lane, counter the Immortal, so that's actually really good for them. It means somebody's going to have to stay behind, but Stage Dive is up and available, so ETC can stick around, get that. Let's pop up these talents. It's been a while. And so half the shield already taken out because of the damage they did. And the rest of the shield melted just as ProBUs was able to get here. But the throw onto Anduin over the wall, the big taunt, massive shove. Oh no, Galdry Ice. Oh no, you hate to see it. And Garrosh looking like maybe he was going to try to throw the Johanna there. might have been able to get her, but ultimately with the team focusing on the Immortal there, probably wouldn't have gotten the kill. So ETC versus Blaze up here in the top. Blaze making his way out of here, but look at the damage here. So they already had the fort down in the top lane, and that kept ETC out of that fight. Because of the pressure in the bot lane, it also kept the rest of the team out of the fight. So Light Bomb coming in is going to hit 2. I think the Dragon Arrow is what hit the rest of them now, and the full team disengage here. Never mind, X Havoc says, I'm going back in. We got a big stun. But that doesn't matter because he's dead. And Gen Confusion getting out of there. Hunter X as well. It looks like Gen Confusion probably dies here, and does. Giving the Li Ming the resets. And at this stage in the game, these death timers are getting longer, and that's going to give value now to ProBUs as they want to get structure damage. They don't actually have any forts down, so they have to find a way to start pressuring in these lanes. ETC once again in the bot lane. We also see Raynor down there picking up that bottom camp. And level 16's available now for 2Calculated2Throw, just a little bit in advance of ProBUs here. But the Immortals are coming up in 15 seconds. The only camps available, Shaman Camp on the side of ProBUs. So I kind of expect that we'll see the 2Calculated2Throw getting on the Immortal as quickly as possible, especially with this Raynor, getting that Exterminator value, and making as much value as they can before halftime so that they can clear up that camp. Although they do still have their siege camp going in the bot lane too. So Dragon 478 coming in, getting the blind, but doesn't quite hit the Raynor. So halftime going out, and we do hear the, you may not have heard it, I heard it, the Dragon Arrow going out, landing onto the Blaze and giving them that sweet kill. And now the throw onto Johanna, but the Light Bomb, what? Oh no! Not what you want to have happen. Letting, helping out the enemy team get that value of from the Light Bomb. And now Hunter X trying to find an angle to maybe come in here. But Gen Confusion, you know, throwing, I guess 1 for the stun. So never mind. That doesn't matter what I was going to say. Then the bot lane here, the Shaman Camp is ultimately going to be able to take out this tower, or this fort rather, and now the second Immortal coming up for ProBUs. So early game, very strong for 2Calculated2Throw, but ProBUs coming in and leveling out the playing field. It's 8 kills to 8 kills, 17 to 17. Forts down for both sides, top and bottom. Glass cannon for the Li Ming, so if they can find a way to get to Li Ming, she'll die very quickly. But if not, they'll just do a whole lot of damage. Big pull out of the danger zone there. And the wall and towers are now down, so Immortal already at half health though. This is going to go down very quickly. Big stun there, but the Blaze popping that unstoppable. We do see ETC very much in the back line, but is going to make it out just fine, no problem. And with the Immortal getting about half of this keep, that puts the structure value slightly in favor of ProBUs. But ultimately, these teams currently sitting pretty equal, other than ProBUs sitting about a half a level ahead. But even that is, in some ways, okay, because 2Calculated has the minion waves coming in. But we see this aggressive invade here. Hyperion going out to zone out the team, making sure that ProBUs has to pull away and that this Shaman Camp is not going to be pulled away. That's going to give the bottom camp over to ProBUs. It's going to give the top camp though over to 2Calculated2Throw, and this is a big value play for them, as that's a double camp pushing. And we'll see what they do here now, because we see ProBUs making their way up to defend these camps. 19 to 18, it's about a quarter level lead now. Blaze is picking up a lot of that XP in the bot lane here. So neither team is going to have 20 at the beginning of the Immortals. But kills could ultimately be the difference, as really any potential kills here on either side could get them to 20. And 20 could lead to an Immortal and the game. Alright, everybody, be very quiet. And check it out, Johanna using that that Blessed Hammer to actually scout out the bushes without having to get too close here. So right now, the race potential is significant for both teams, but it looks like very slightly ahead for ProBUs. And that's not good if you're 2Calculated, because you actually had all 5 of your team there. So now the defense coming out from 2Calculated, there's a half a level until ProBUs has their level 20s. Neither side can really benefit from being too patient, because they both have catapults, so there's no difference there. The Hanzo Aero, though, coming out, hitting the backline deep, and big, massive shove onto the ETC. Gen Confusion very low here, though. The Immortal getting the knockback onto Johanna. Gen Confusion deep in does get that Bloodthirst. Power slide in from ETC, and check this out. Health bar so low on both sides. The backline having to pull back as Hanzo and Johanna getting taken out. Hanzo by the Immortal. Gul'dan finishing off the Johanna, and Gen Confusion throwing X Havoc into the mix, getting the kill onto the Anduin and follow up onto the Li Ming. No resets for this team. Whoops. Sorry. Apparently ETC died up there. But now this is rough, because not only can they pick up this Shaman camp, which is going to go in the bot lane, picking up the Immortal, that's also going to go in the bot lane, because they still have a wall down here. This is a lot of pressure for 2Calculated to throw, and this could be exactly what they need to finish the game in their favor. But I was going to say, but they're going to go back and kill some minions on the way, I guess? I don't know. Just a little moment. Little pause. So check out these level 20 talents. So we've got the Blinded by the Light for Johanna, that essentially Storm Shield talent. Tout Rasha's Elements, given the extra burst potential to Li Ming. Varian's Legacy, once again, that upgraded play of the game for Hanzo's Aero, and Death Metal. And that's probably the main thing on their side that's going to bring value, I think. We also do have the extra throw for Garrosh here, so 2 people could be thrown. A big 4-man stun out of that throw, and there's the Horrify with the taunt. Exactly what they needed, completing the kill onto Johanna. Not even enough time to use that Blind by the Light, and with the Hyperion, this is going to be game number 2 going over to 2Calculated to Throw. What a game! All right, let's pop up these stats for you here. 8 to 15. So guys, I don't know. After these 2 games, Game 1 very heavily in favor of ProBUs. They certainly mounted a comeback there after level 10 and having a little bit more race and getting some kills in there. We're able to push hard. But the very beginning and the very end of this game was very strong in favor of 2Calculated to Throw. So going into this next game, where do you go? What do you do? If you're ProBUs, you won game 1 very handily. What do you want to take? Map pick or first pick? All right, it looks like they're going to take map pick, and they want to go to Alterac Pass, but they also need a few minutes of a break, so we're going to go ahead and pop off with a 5-minute break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Impressive, Archer. But you'll need to do better than that.
You have no idea what I am capable of.
Good. Because you must be ready for anything.
Yield!
You show promise, Hanzo. Well done. But greater challenges still await us.
I believe we are ready.
It's time to find out.
When I was young, I lived a life of recklessness. In my selfishness, I inflicted pain and hurt those I cared for. I have learned many lessons in my struggles with doubt and fear. Balance and harmony are not easily attained. They must be fought for! But on my journey, I have learned another lesson. You do not have to fight alone.
Let's do this!
play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring!
Bob says Nico gonna find Rainer.
Oh, the life finder keeps Maev up. It was gonna be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill.
All right, everybody, welcome back here. Nexus Gaming Series. We're in game number 3, and we are going to Alterac Pass. Let's take a quick look at the maps here. We saw game 1 on Volskaya Foundry that was picked and won by ProBUs. We saw map number 2, Battlefield of Eternity, was picked and won by 2Calculated2Throw. And here we go to Alterac Pass. This was selected by ProBUs. So let's, you know what? Let's update the standings. How do things look with the additional point that each of these teams have picked up? Well, I'll show you. So that additional point for ProBUs, that puts them in 7th, solidly. Tryhards, they're not tied anymore. But one more point, if they can pull this off, we'll put them tied with Zul'jin Distillery and would tap that. Now, I have no idea what the tiebreakers are for those teams, but it would be an interesting scenario and one that I think ProBUs would like to see. Let's see, we got readies on both sides, and we're going to get started now. Thank you, everybody, for waiting for a few minutes there, as the teams needed to kind of set aside a couple moments just to catch up, catch their breath after a spicy Battlefield of Eternity game. But we're going to get into Alterac Pass now. So we're going to change that music up on you. All right, and it sounds like Spooky Ghost is forfeiting to Logical Decision as they weren't able to get all of their team together. So this is actually, you know what? I suppose we could do a replay cast after this. I'll have to go take a look and see what's out there. So, hey guys, so anybody in chat, if you guys want to go take a look at the Cast My Replay channel, you know, if there's a game in there that doesn't have a check mark on it, preferably one before this week. There's a note in there that says, hey, anything before this can only be done solo queue. Go take a look at it. Maybe we'll rip a replay cast here after this one, you know, and we'll take what you guys find in there. Just post it in chat. Tell me which date and what the teams were. But Kel'Thuzad and Ana gonna be banned out, followed up by the Leoric. So following after those monster heroes from game 1. Thank you, Corix. I appreciate you double checking that. So if they win, if ProBUs wins this, Zul'jin Distillery is sitting in 5th. ProBUs will be 6th, and would tap that would be 7th. So that's going to put them up another tier. So they're currently at 7th. That'll push them up 1 extra point. Ghost Bear, if you go to the NGS Discord under Season 7, I think it's under Season 7, Cast My Replay is the name of the channel. And you'll see a whole bunch of posts in there. It is under Season 7. A whole bunch of posts in there that I've put in there for games that have been played but have not been cast. And if you want to take a look, see if there's something in there that looks entertaining, maybe we can pick that up. First pick, Stukov. Chaos is officially respected, inspires fear. Fair enough, you know what? I mean, that Kel'Thuzad was absolute, just masterful in game 1. We're going to see the Johanna and Anduin again. So we did not get the Falling Sword Light Bomb combo last game. And that's okay. I mean, the Falling Sword combo is not as easy as you might think it would be, because the timing of it is pretty short on the Light Bomb. So you have to really be aware of what's going on and have good communication with your team and expect it. Because if you don't expect it, then there's not a lot of time for Johanna to jump up into the air. We're going to see, again, the Blaze and Garrosh. And these two frontliners were pretty instrumental in that victory. But really, the whole team on the side of 2Calculated2Throw did what they needed to do to succeed there. The Stukov silences, and with the exception of one massive shove, pretty solid disengages from Stukov there. The Gul'dan with significant horrifies and damage being put out. So I'm totally fine with how things went there. We'll see how they adjust here. So interestingly enough, neither team banning out Sylvanas, and this is basically her best map. Well, fair enough. I'm Scooter Man. All right, Kael'thas. That's a big pickup. There's a lot of value from Kael'thas on this map, because unlike the Volskaya Foundry, where we previously saw Kael'thas here, those control points, you only need one person, and there's the Sylvanas. Okay, got it. A little bit lower priority than I would have thought, but she made it. But anyways, the point being, the control points only require one person to be on them, which means that Kael'thas's value, in theory, can be lessened if you position your team appropriately. But here on Alterac Pass, there's a lot more chaos over these prison camps. So a Kael'thas gets a lot more value. But by the same token, so does Li Ming and Junkrat. Junkrat's going to be able to poke these things out for days. And with that Li Ming as well, the potential for long bomb resets, I like what I'm seeing out of 2Calculated2Throw. This is a lot of potential value for them. But so far, same thing. I mean, and Dahaka really adds to that. They're trying to make use of that off-lane global soak that they tried to do with the ETC in the last game and didn't quite work out as well as they probably hoped. Man, who do I give the edge to on this? I have to say that all things being equal, I think that I would give... Oh man, I don't know. I was going to say, I think I give the edge over to 2Calculated with this draft, personally. All right, we're going to get into game number 3 here between ProBUs and 2Calculated2Throw. Who are you guys rooting for? I know Scooter Man wants to root for 2Calculated2Throw, but they did pick that Stukov. And you know, especially in today's political climate, you got to be careful with these Russians. But let's get this going here. Introducing our team who just tied up the bracket here. Gen Confusion on Garrosh, Hunter X on Junkrat, Jurgen Derb on Li Ming, Galdriice on that Stukov, and X Havoc on Blaze. It's 2Calculated2Throw. And looking to score an additional rank, going up to 6th place here, ProBUs on the left. Aruba's going to be playing Sylvanas, Chaos Tank on the Dahaka, Dragon 478 on Johanna, Sage on the Kael'thas, and Hung Fu once again on that Anduin. All night long. All right, let's take a look at these talents. What kind of excitement do we have? None. Every talent, pretty much as you would expect from both sides. Okay. So what do we have here for Blaze? Adrenaline Stim Pack, giving that auto attack speed and movement speed. That's an interesting one. Don't see it a ton. We also have that Power Hungry. Not going to complain about it here on this map. Certainly a little bit more value here than on Battlefield of Eternity, in my opinion. Also, I noticed that I did not get flamed. Thank you guys for, if not agreeing with me, at least not yelling at me for my personal opinion on Power Hungry on Battlefield of Eternity. Let's take a look. So a little bit of an XP lead so far over to ProBUs. Not a lot, just a touch. And we do see the camps available for both teams. Neither team going to them yet. Now, depending on what we see out of the Sylvanas here, I kind of would like to see them actually wait to cap this if they're taking Merc Queen. But we'll see. Camp being picked up on both sides now as 2Calculated2Throw makes their way over here as well, using a full 3-man team to get over here. Yeah, not new habits. Which is a little bit surprising, as there's a lot of potential interrupts and stuns and crap on the side of ProBUs there. So we'll see how that goes. And let's see, level 4 available. We'll see if we get the Merc Queen out of Sylvanas, but she's actually not up here. So yeah, I was gonna say she might not be going that route. She's going with the possession to help with that wave clear. And look at that, bam. 3 ranged minions right away, already getting the pressure in the bot lane. Probably more pressure thanks to those black arrows than what they're getting out of the mid lane. And pulling away now, as we do see the rotation down from the mid lane coming from 2Calculated2Throw. Yeah, right, Darth? Like, I'm not just crazy. Like, that's just a crazy talent. It's silly. People take it because they're used to taking it, but it gets so little value. All right, so the mention was for a, what was it, Zul'jin Distillery, and where'd it go? Oh, I'll have to scroll back here. All right, Blaze charging through the mud, and the throw from Garrosh on Hung Fu, throwing that Anduin into the team, but Chaos Tank on Dahaka just getting surrounded and could not get out of the positioning there. Dragon getting pulled with Leap of Faith, but into the Groundbreaker. Ultimately going to lead to a 2-0 for 2Calculated2Throw. That's a lot of 2s to throw out there. And throw. Oh my goodness, guys, this it's going to keep happening, I'm sure. And that Divine Star over the wall, the only real way that Anduin had to pause that, I don't think Chastise quite has enough distance to get over that wall, but not a lot they can do at this point. They're going to pick up this camp to help counter some of the pressure coming in from the cavalry. But at this point, with only 8 seconds left, there's no way that they can defend this. Well, I'm not sure why Junkrat's throwing the grenades into that. So a quick, easy pickup for 2Calculated2Throw. Thanks to those 2 kills here. Kind of expect to see Gen Confusion maybe throw these gnolls over the wall? Maybe? No? Not so much? Okay. He's got other things he wants to save that for. There is way too much throwing Scooter Man, for sure. Let's check out the top lane, where we've got a 3 versus 3 now with the Wolf Riders coming in from the Horde. Filthy Horde. You know what? I'm gonna have to root for ProBUs because they're the Alliance. So there you go. Game over, they win. And here comes Garrosh rotating up as the Gnoll camp was cleared out. Not a lot of health left on the Ram Rider, or the Woeful Rider there. And some pretty significant damage from Kael'thas. I'm assuming you took the percentage? Yeah, you did at level 7. The Seared Flesh, I think that's called. Burned Flesh. All right, down in the bot lane, X-Havoc having to use that jet propulsion to get away. Doesn't have enough mana to do anything else. I feel like every time I look at Blaze, he's out of mana. Sorry, Scooter Man. We're just going to have a difference of opinion on this one. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen my display. You'll see it at the end when we shut down. Next Havoc's still down here. Let's check in. How long until he's got a tap here? It's available. Maybe it just came up. I don't know. Okay, I was gonna say, as long as he's been down here, he's either gonna hearth or he's got a tap, but he's gonna go ahead and hearth, so he's got the tap available for later. Rest of the team in the middle here, approaching level 10s. So let's see. With these teams, are we gonna see? We could see a bunker, potentially to counter the pyroblast. Pyroblast. Yeah, I mean, I think we could see a pyroblast even. They've got a pretty squish team in general. Although Stukov could do a lot of healing. That burst healing. Let's pop up talents. We have nothing better going on right now. You know what? I'm glad that I could bring you two together in this fine chat. So level 10s here. Let's see how long it takes for Blaze and Kael'thas to select their heroics here. We do see the Disintegrate, which is fine. Light Bomb, Blessed Shield, the Isolation, Wailing Arrow. So all pretty standard. We do see Flailing Swipe instead of Massive Shove this time, helping with that disengage. And we're just going to keep seeing the chicken. I think we're seeing Junkrat hold on to his ult, because if Kael'thas takes Pyroblast, I think Junkrat is thinking he'll take Rocket Ride. Tongue out onto Jurgendur, but it's going to be the Flailing Swipe. I don't know that it was necessary, but ultimately the disengage happening. And now this is tough because you have to watch for those heroics. And Wailing Arrow going out, Blessed Shield as well, stalling out the 3 there. Still holding on to those heroics. Isolation used onto Garrosh. Light Bomb coming out now as well, hitting onto 2. The throw back in, but Garrosh is going to be the first casualty now in the game for ProBUs so far. But once again, still no level 10 talents from Kael'thas, Junkrat, or Blaze. Who's going to be the first to give? I don't know. I just don't know. I am dead and I'm pissed. Sorry, guys. We've reporting to duty. Fair enough. Jet propulsion in. Here comes the Garrosh, but Junkrat pretty far away here. There's the Pyroblast and Combustion. Waiting to see what Junkrat picks up here, as Li Ming's going to be the first to fall, but health bars so low everywhere. Blaze getting taken out as well, and it is going to be the Rocket Ride, but I think that he got into the frayed out. I think Garrosh used Into the Fray. I wonder if I can check on his page. Can we see that? Into the Fray was used? Indomitable. Yeah, so I think he Into the Frayed Junkrat away to keep him alive, but also pulled him out of Rocket Ride because of that. Which, you know, I mean, that's fine. I don't think the Rocket Ride was being used for any actual value there other than to just get out of dodge. But the cavalry coming up here for ProBUs, we've already got this bottom fort down, and we see the main bulk of defense here in this bot lane. Johanna getting thrown over, but the Leap of Faith pulling her right back. And Li Ming doing some pretty significant damage to this cavalry. No, that wasn't that. So Flailing Swipe to disengage. Garrosh throwing the Johanna again, only taunting the Kael'thas. So we'll see if they actually are able to get the kill onto the Kael'thas, but not able to hit with the Rocket Ride. They need some kind of lockdown for that actually to land on a specific target that you're trying to get onto. And of course, the target that case was definitely Kael'thas. All right, let's see here. So in the bot lane now, we've got a gank on this potential boss. Kael'thas getting the gravity lapse onto 2, but not quite able to get the damage enough to kill anybody. But here comes Dahaka in the back, and what's his name? Stukov picked off and completed the kill was Anduin there. So now 5-2 in favor of ProBUs. And they're going to get started on this boss now. I don't think it's a good idea for 2Calculated to come in on this. They know they're there. They can probably see that they're pretty healthy. And they pretty well got... Oh, sorry about that. Pretty well got bounced out by that setup with Kael'thas starting with that gravity lapse, getting the damage onto the backline too, no less. We've got Garrosh and Li Ming working on that camp in the mid lane here, trying to get that out so that they can get some counter pressure while they deal with this boss in the bot lane. Now keep in mind, Alterac Pass is very difficult to win unless you've got at least 2 keeps down. But this is a good place to start. Even a boss by itself will not take down the core if only one keeps down. But look at the damage going out onto Stukov. Completely just obliterated there from Sylvanas. And this boss is half health. Now, if you can get a couple kills, then yes, the boss can certainly help you to finish off the core, as that additional 40 armor that it's got is basically negated by the boss, but not now. And we do have now Fear showing up into the chat, the captain for 2Calculated2Throw. Make sure you go back and watch these last couple of games. That BOE game was especially a solid one for the team. They did really well for you there on BOE. Maybe don't watch the Volsky Founder game. Here we go. So Blaze is still in the lane, so this is an uneven fight here for 2Calculated2Throw. Junkrat throwing that root out there, and here comes Blaze trying to get in onto the Kael'thas. Light Bomb going out doesn't actually connect on anybody there, but Chaos Tank trying to put the pressure onto Stukov. Stukov has the isolation, and Garrosh ultimately going to be the one going down, followed up by the Blaze. And it looks like Junkrat gonna send himself back to the graveyard. Hop onto his little rocket there, and zoom around someplace. It looks like they're going to be able to stall this. Well, I thought they were going to be able to stall this out. Maybe not. Just Junkrat here, as the camp in the mid lane is getting some pretty decent value. So Jurgen Derb and Galdrax clearing that up. But we've got ProBUs up in the top lane working on this boss. And if they're able to get this boss and the cavalry, that could end the game. If they're running at the same time. So coming in here, trying to get this stall, the Garrosh throw onto the Dahaka, using that taunt. He does have loads of essence and is able to burrow away. And they do get the defense on the camp. But take a look here, 17 to 15, and Garrosh once again getting caught by the Dahaka and just gets taken down by the team. Chaos Tank taking the damage from Jurgen Derb as well. But now Junkrat can stall this out for, you know, a fair bit, but it also, depending on the positioning, like Aruba there, is a little bit far away. And the amount of time that, or positioning there for Hunter X to try to get into that. Oh, man. It's not looking good if you're a 2Calculated2Throw fan here. The boss is going to get this top keep prepared. These lanes are super pushed up as well against 2Calculated2Throw, and we're going to see the rotation in. Dahaka, the only one not here. The jet propulsion getting interrupted there, and even with that throw, the Contempt pulling Garrosh in. So now 2 keeps are down and Garrosh dying. Galdrax now getting the living bomb, probably goes down as well. And with the cavalry coming in here, this is going to get right onto the core. Sylvanas going down in response though, and Dragon 478, that core or that keep shot following the leap of faith, gonna take it out. So 2 kills on the defense. But is it enough with both of these cavalry coming in into this core? This is a huge amount of damage, and this is exactly what ProBUs needs, is to take down this fort and get this other cavalry in there, and then no amount of kills is gonna save this core if they can't deal with these 3 cavalry. Look at the health of this core. Going quickly here. Even the rocket ride going out trying to slow this down. 5k left. And they succeed. They defend against the triple cavalry. Not enough pressure coming out from ProBUs ultimately to finish it. Even, oh my god, Kael'thas getting it down to 700, keeping it leashed. And the Reaver in the bot lane, 500, so close. And they just committed. I'm a little triggered right now, guys. Because if they had just gone in, if they had just gone for it, ProBUs wins this game. But they were scared. They had 2 heroes down, including their Johanna and Sylvanas. But now, and I don't, with level 20s available, look at how quickly this boss is melting. 2Calculated2Throw is not rotating quickly enough. They're not going to get here before this boss gets pulled. And they're not out of the woods yet. They do need to get some kills though, because this boss will finish the core by itself if they don't get some kills and take the pressure off. Here we go. Core is at full health. The boss is on the way. Li Ming getting some bursty damage out there, but they're spreading apart pretty decently to make sure that they don't burst all of that. And the combustion going out doesn't get a whole lot of value there. But now X-Havoc is deep into this team. I don't know that it's the right play trying to pull them all away from the boss on the core, but the boss is already at half health. So as long as they don't lose more here, maybe that works for them. But the core is already 12k damage, and Pyroblast going out hits the Li Ming there. And the core going down. This time they succeed. And it's a 2-1 victory for ProBUs. Pulling them up from tied for 7th to tied for 5th. But because of the tiebreaker, that will put them in 6th place. Moist Weenus, thank you very much for the bits, my friend. Much appreciated. Let's take a look at these stats. And we'll see if we can't get an interview. So 2-1 victory. ProBUs over 2Calculated2Throw, looking strong, especially in that game 1, 20 kills to 1. Quite the play from this team. Take a look at the talents here.
Hello again.
Hello. It feels like only, I don't know, yesterday or a day or two ago that we were in this very same place.
We sure were.
So, yeah, go ahead.
By the way, I meant to tell you, my wife thinks pineapple on pizza is perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it.
Excellent. I like your wife.
In fact, if she wants a pizza and she wants to make sure I'm not going to eat any, she gets Hawaiian.
I mean, that's the way to go, right?
Yeah.
not only can you have an excellent tasting pizza, but you can also be selfish.
Yeah. Oh man, so how's it going? Did you enjoy the show?
That was a fantastic show. You know what? You guys obliterated game number 1, and I cannot stroke Sage's ego enough on that Kel'Thuzad. There were so many maximum range chains onto the Thrall, onto the Garrosh, I think. No, not Garrosh. Anyways, primarily on Thrall. I mean, Thrall spent... Can you still hear me?
I lost you.
Ah, crap. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Are you there? Can you hear me now?
Doesn't look like it's getting pick up from your mic anymore, Mr. Aero.
What the hell?
Yeah. What the hell indeed.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep, you're back.
Okay. Yeah, that was just Discord crapping out. So what I was saying is I cannot express you know, my love for Sage's play on that Kel'Thuzad in game 1. Thrall had a target on his back for 80% of that game and spent most of it in the graveyard with the maximum range Chains of Ice onto Thrall, and everyone turned into a kill.
Oh, I know, that poor Thrall. I felt so bad. It's so hard to step up against a KTZ like that, you know, particularly one that's really on point that night.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, Diablo, yeah, Hung Fu calling out, that was Diablo in game 1, that's true, yep. So you guys played a couple of absolutely stellar games. You know, the flipping back on my notes here just to remind myself, because of course I wrote all this down and I don't bother to look at it, so why would I, right? Lyric had some really great entombs. You know, the Muradin play, the Anduin, like Leap of Faiths all night, absolutely. Actually, I don't want to say all night. There were 1 or 2 Leap of Faiths that didn't quite have the intended effect. Johanna in Alterac Pass getting caught by the Groundbreaker was a oops, my bad kind of moment.
I think that's my personal favorite moment of the night. Yeah.
We haven't gotten there yet. But that's fair. You can use that one. That's fine.
Poor guy. Yeah, he felt very bad about that one, but you know, he's doing his best to save me. So you know, we'll let it slide.
Right? Yeah. And you know what? I mean, we all have those moments, right? I mean, whether you're playing the tank, whether you're playing the healer, you know, you're trying to help out. And how many times do you see a Stukov shove somebody a mile away who was just about to die, right?
Certainly. Yeah. We've all pressed that button and been like, why? That didn't work out the way I wanted.
In fact, I believe it was Hung Fu who got saved on Battlefield of Eternity by a massive shove. So there you go.
Yeah, I think he did. He had 1 save, but then there was like 5 other perfect counter engages that came off on that. That time I had the light bomb on me and found myself flailing away onto the back wall somewhere. That was a sad moment for me. So kudos to the enemy Stukov. He was really, really on point that BOE game.
So I'm gonna stroke Hung Fu's ego here a little bit as well. The light bombs game 1 were clutch and perfect. Again, much like the Kel'Thuzad, absolutely perfect every time. 3-4 people hit every time. Now, of course, light bomb doesn't do any good if you don't have a Muradin, you know, putting himself right up in the face of the enemy team with a 1v4 basically every time, right? You guys, I cannot, I mean, I've said it a couple times, I cannot say enough about how strong your guys' play was tonight. And that's now reflected in the standings. So, you know, with your victory the other day, that tied you up for the 7th/8th spot. With your 2-point victory tonight, that puts you, I guess, it's tied with Zildjian Distillery and I think Wood Tap That. But it sounds like ultimately that puts you behind Zildjian Distillery, but ahead of Wood Tap That. Is that correct?
I believe so, yeah, if my math is correct on it.
So, who are you guys going to play? So that puts you, if you're 6, you play 3. So you're going to be playing Church of Murky. And I believe we talked about this the other day. So how are you feeling about playing against Church of Murky in round 1, if that's in fact who you're playing here?
Is it Church of Murky? I think there's a...
Oh, crap, it's
Rectum
a tie.
I think Rectum has 1 more game that is probably happening tonight.
Yes.
With a good chance to move into the 3 slot. So
There's
still a little bit left to settle out. So I guess it's Church of Murky or Rectum, depending on how that game goes. I would love a second crack at Church of Murky. That was one of those matches that I think we're all thankful no one picked up for the cast, because it was a brutally one-sided affair in favor of Church of Murky. So a chance to get a little bit of redemption on that one would be nice to see, but you know, it's in someone else's hands now.
Sure. Well, fair enough. So game 2, Battlefield of Eternity, looked a little bit like a roller coaster. You guys started off a little bit behind, and then you had some solid push, got a couple of immortals, had got a couple of structures down, ultimately got, you know, up onto the keep, and then you had that one big play that they ultimately ended up, you know, fighting hard, getting some kills, and pushing it down bot lane. So when you guys finish up game 2, you know, it's always interesting, you know, obviously there was a couple of minutes of a break between. What was your locker room speech like coming in between game number 2 and game number 3?
You know, we reminded, we just kind of reminded ourselves how close that was. It's a tough loss to take, but that fight was just on a knife's edge, right there on that bottom immortal. I think we had 2 or 3 guys down to sub 100 hit points, and it was just one auto attack here or there that tipped it into their favor. If we get any one of those resets, Leeming just pops off. So it's just remind ourselves, get back to what we do best. Don't over engage. Of course, we took that fight under the enemy immortal, which any right sane team would not be doing, and we still managed to just pull it within a razor's edge. So dial it back a little bit, don't take a bad engage, and you can beat them in a straight up 5-on-5 fight. You can just go out, draft right, and get it done.
Sure. And so you did so into the Alterac Pass, your map pick. The team that selected map all night was the winner of these the points here. So you get into that. You pick the Sylvanas. I thought it was a little bit late in the draft. I was surprised that Sylvanas was all the way down in the 3-4 as opposed to earlier, because it's just she's so strong on this map, and you got that push. So what was it like for your team going into this, knowing that they were banning out the? Well, actually, let's start with that. How did Sage react? It was Sage, right? Or did Chaos Tank?
Sage. It was Sage on the KTZ tonight.
Okay, as soon as I said it, I was like, wait, didn't Chaos Tank play it the other day? or something like I gave credit to Sage and Chaos Tank was the actual player or something like that the other day. So I was second guessing myself. But how did Sage feel like seeing those bans coming out on the Kel'Thuzad pretty much immediately then?
A lot of respect. He definitely. You got to feel the love when you see that sort of level of respect come through from the enemy team. But it was his confidence was most certainly unshaken. It was it's just next mage up, get it done, just in a slightly different style.
Gotcha. Well, I do see your Church of Murky versus ProBUs game here. It is in the Cast My Replay section, so I'm sure that it'll get picked up by somebody in the near future. So you'll be able to have something to go back and look back on to reflect. Hey, listen, if we don't learn from the games that we lose and the matches we lose, we can't ever get better, right? So look at it as an opportunity to get better.
Is there a way to burn a YouTube video?
Yeah, I think it involves like some kind of witchcraft, and you have to watch Hocus Pocus like 14 times in a row.
I think if you just claim copyright, it works. But no, that's fine. It's if you go ahead and enjoy it. It's I suppose I've already spoiled the ending of it, but it's worth watching just to see the power of what draft can do and certain team comps into. People who are maybe not fully respecting them.
Sure. Fair enough. So my end question of the night, of course, being the favorite moment, but you already identified that as your leap of faith into into destruction on the Warbringer there from Garrosh. So I guess this is your last match, correct?
Last match of the regular season. Yep.
Good deal. Well, congratulations, 2-1 victory. That sets you up here a little bit ahead. Obviously, the Team Rectum versus whoever they're playing is going on right now, or maybe even they finished a little bit ahead. FF and the Pancakes. All right, there you go. So let's see. Do they have a potential chance to knock anybody out? Let's see. Oh, no, not even close. So the playoff teams were set, just not their seeding. So one thing just real quick, as Ektar reminded me, make sure that you get the game reported, like as soon as we're done talking, go get that uploaded, because we need to get the playoff brackets set. And with that being said, the floor is yours for shoutouts.
Well, biggest of all shout outs to Sage for his mage play, particularly that KTZ game. Shout out to Chaos for holding it down in the solo lane. I am very curious to see Stats of the Storm and whether or not he's still top in the league in XP Soak. Shout outs to Aruba and Hung Fu for holding down the rest of the back line. Big shout out to J-Silv and all of the other people who have been helping us become better HOTS players over the year. You know, we're living here in Div D. We know we're never making it to the HGC, but we always aspire to be the best HOTS players that we possibly can. Shout out to my lovely wife. I hope you're still watching, even though it might just be a lot of brightly colors and anxiety, but thank you. And shout out to you, Aero, and the rest of the NGS. You know, it's a great time and it's a fun league.
Absolutely, thank you very much. I also, you know, as a fellow pineapple pizza lover, I just have to, you know, say thanks to Dragon's wife as well for being one additional person to keep that on the map, on the menu. It's very important for pineapple pizza. But Dragon, thank you very much for joining me and for getting your match reported as soon as possible, and good luck in the playoffs to you.
Thanks again. Have a good night.
You as well. Your top 2 waifu. Oh man. All right, so that is going to conclude our live casting. Let me just double check to see if we've got anything going on, if this other match did in fact cancel. Make sure here. All right, so chat, there was somebody who mentioned about a potential replay cast. So if you have a replay cast you'd like to get done, let's go ahead and find one. We can knock one out in roughly about an hour or so, I would think. So let's hop back over to the game screen here. So if you've got a replay cast that you see there in the chat, preferably one before the balance patch here earlier this week, so that we can allow the more recent ones to be used by casters who want to work with a co-caster. Go ahead and pick that up and rip that in chat. We'll see if I can get anybody to confirm that it actually was. Let's see. What do we got? Oh, looks like Painfully Average forfeited. For those of you watching from Div D, Painfully Average forfeited to Team Rectum, so that gives Rectum the additional points here. Let's see, what else do we have going on here? All right, anybody got a replay cast they want to have done? Nobody's responding. So quiet. If not, then I think we can have you guys head on over to watch a heroic game. We can set that up. You know what? Why don't we do that? We can do replay casts anytime. There's a heroic game. Let's go watch this live game. I'm going to get you guys set up to go watch this heroic game with Sky Bunny. Everybody, thanks for joining me tonight. And if you watched the NGS Rewind, I appreciate you stopping by earlier as well. 2-1 victory, ProBUs over 2Calculated2Throw in Division D East. That sets up the playoff brackets, and those will be coming out here shortly. Have a wonderful night, and make sure you stop by the NGS Rewind on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/Nexus Gaming Series, where we catch all those replay casts, well, maybe not all of them, but several replay casts throughout the week, and try to make sure that we get as much coverage as possible. Thanks again for playing in the Nexus Gaming Series, for those of you who are players, and for watching, for those of you who are not. We appreciate the support. Have a great night, and we'll catch you again soon.